Hey everyone, Gene Ginsburg here. Giles, how are you?
I'm good. We are talking about repurposing content today, which is always fun.
Yes. So, what we're talking about today, how to create 64 pieces of content, right? That's something that Gary Vee talks about all the time. So, how do you actually do that, and how do you do that 64 pieces of content per day?
Wow. Okay. So,
That's a
Gene,
lot.
I know. And if I was like on the outside, like listening, I'd be like, wait, did I just hear 64 pieces of content? Yeah, no. Like, I would like actually want to chime in and hear what the heck are these girls talking about? So, why don't you tell us? Because, Gene, this is like your jam. I thought I was good at repurposing content until I met you. And then I'm like, my ego went from here to like, woo.
So that's something that Gary Vee talks about a lot. I don't create 64 pieces of content a day, but I can tell you how it's pretty easy to do that. And I create, a subset of that, but still post 4 times a day to all of my social media platforms. And so in terms of the way I do it, I usually batch create my content, except for these Facebook Lives, which are daily, well, Monday through Friday. But all of my other pieces of content, I have usually me or my team, we batch create them. So I create videos just like that I record. And then from there, so usually the way I kind of think about it is repurposing content. You create one source. So it could be this video or just the video that you recorded. And then from there, you could create many different pieces of content in different formats and different mediums that are very easy to do without having to create a blog post and create a quote and create an audio or create a short video. Like you could do that all out of one video like this. So for example, when we do these Facebook Lives, they're about 10 to 15 minutes long. And that's a perfect amount of time for repurposing a piece of content that you could repurpose for 64 pieces per day, or you could do it for 30 days, whatever, however many pieces of content you want to create.
So okay, so let's talk about that. So say this video, I know that it goes into a podcast episode. So what is the next thing that you would do?
So you have the video, and then you have a podcast episode. And again, you don't need to have a podcast necessarily like a sanctioned podcast. You could just create a video, an audio version of this video, strip out the audio, and then make that into another piece of content. So again, you don't necessarily have to have, although creating a podcast is pretty easy. We actually talked about podcasting last week. So then you can create short videos out of this main one video. So for example, you can do, there's platforms like Cut Story or other types of platforms where you can cut pieces of your video into 1 minute segments. So you can add those to Instagram or TikTok. I don't know if TikTok is around anymore, but
it's still there. I checked this morning because I grew my followers to 535 followers on TikTok. So I was so excited. I went from 300-ish to 535 in one day. So yeah, it's still there.
Awesome. Well, yeah, for now it's still there. So because TikTok and Instagram, most of them require, most of the functionalities require 1 minute videos. So you can cut those so you can just take a segment and make it into a 1 minute video. So now you can create out of a 10-minute video, 10 1 minute segments, right? So now you have another 10 pieces of content. The other thing that I do is I take the main video like this one, and then I transcribe it with a platform like rev.com. It's 25 cents a minute to get it transcribed. And then I have either me or my team, we clean it up, we edit it and make it sound like a blog post. So that's a blog post right there. And that's really great because then you can post it to your website or your blog, and then you have really good SEO. And you're definitely the SEO queen. I know that. And you can definitely maybe talk a little bit about SEO and what is best for getting traffic to, let's say, a blog or a website when it comes to a blog post.
Absolutely. So here's what I tell people is I'm going to share with you what I do. I use a tool called keysearch.co. They have a free version, and then I have the up-leveled version, the $17 version. And it's pretty dang easy to look for keywords. You just type in like a keyword phrase that your blog post might be about, and you look and what you're looking for is keyword search terms that have a volume of over 300 per month. Like, so there's search volume of 300 per month, plus they're great. Like it actually, key search is so cool. It actually turns color. So it will tell you, like, it will suggest key phrases for you, and it will tell you what, if it's green, that means that it's competitive, but not too competitive. And you can actually like rank for that keyword or that key phrase. And then it gives you all kinds of other cool content, like the top 10 blog or the top 10 posts on Google for that key phrase. It will tell you how many words are in there. So then you can like make because you want to make your blog post longer than theirs. Like, just all kinds of really like what key phrases people are typing in. So questions, and then you can use those questions as like your subheadings and things like that. So I would encourage you to do exactly what Jean said. Is like take the audio, for example, and transcribe it in Rev, and then turn it into a blog post. But then do some real quick keyword research and just add to it a little bit so that you can make it more Google friendly. And it doesn't take very long to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe you can share a little about your results for your blog that you've had in the last year. Because I think that's really great.
Yeah. So what I've done is using Google SEO along with Pinterest, I've been able to consistently do it's about 42 to 45,000 page views now from my SEO and from Pinterest combined organic traffic every month. So really taking those extra few minutes to do the keyword research makes all the difference in the world for me. And literally last May, early June of 2019, I was sitting at my sister's house, laying in bed thinking, I really need to do something with this blog of mine, right? Because I had been having it for 8 years, but I hadn't really treated it. It was like the ugly red-headed stepchild kind of thing, And so I made a decision to do something about it. And a year later, this is where I'm at. And it's all organic. There's no paid at all. Not to say that down the road I won't add some paid advertising, but so it's very exciting. So content really does work.
Yeah, so that's great. I just wanted to kind of take a little side note to talk about SEO, because there's a reason why we have blog posts, right? Like, it's not just for like, oh, let me create another piece of content. Like, it is actually because it helps you get more traffic to your website or your blog. So there's definitely some positivity to that. So, but another piece of content right there, you have a blog. From the blog, you can do many different things. Besides just posting it as an article, as a blog post itself to your website, you can also take out quotes, make quote images, and we do that in Canva. If you go to my social media or Angela's social media, you'll probably see like a ton of quotes. We do a lot actually from this podcast. Let's see, you can just take the actual quotes and then make them into social media snippets, like
tweets,
copy and paste it. Yeah, like a tweet, or like copy paste it into your LinkedIn or into your Facebook or whatever. So you can just do that without even any images. And Gary Vee does that all the time, where he'll just like have a little quote or have like a little saying or like something that, just a couple sentences, nothing crazy. So you can do that. So that's already like, snippets could be, 20, 30 snippets. That's quotes, quote images, 20, 30 quote images right there. You have already over 100 pieces of content. And you can do that all from one video. So that's the easiest way, is just thinking about it repurposing versus having to create every single new video or like new piece of content every time. So that is how we create content around here.
Yeah, it really is. It's really interesting too. I think that when you first get started doing content creation, it can feel overwhelming, but really one of the things that I would suggest you think about is putting together, like, what does that look like for your business? Put together a plan, right? Like, are you going to start with a Facebook Live? Are you going to start with a video? And then how you can like get other pieces of content out of that, because we just shared with you how to do it. And put together a realistic plan for you, like what's going to work for you. Do you want to hire an inexpensive team member to help you with some of this? I mean, it really does pay off. In fact, Gina and I were having a conversation about that. I think it was yesterday. or the other day on a side note on how so many of our clients and so many people that are in our extended networks, one of the biggest things that they struggle with is having consistency in their social media posting. And it's interesting, Gary Vee, we were on Gary Vee Tea with Gary Vee a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things he told Gene and I is that doing consistent social media is part of the cost of doing business now today. Like, you must do it. So with that being said, I want to bring that and circle back around how important it is for you to have a plan to create, content. And using a plan like this makes it so much easier. It's way less time consuming. And it will really, truly, once you get out there and start posting consistent social media and utilizing even one piece of content to turn it into multiple pieces of content, your business will change. You'll get a lot more engagement. You'll start getting more clients. So I really believe it starts with social media.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really the best way we talked about is engaging with your audience. That's what we talked about yesterday, is why is social media important, right? Why create 64 pieces of content? Why on earth would you do that? Well, because your audiences are hanging out online, especially now because everyone's stuck at home, and even more stuck at home now. Like, there were some reopenings, people were going back out, and now there's a lot of places that are shutting down again, and people are forced to stay home. Unfortunately, that's the way things are now. So take advantage of that situation.
Well, and it's true. And, I want to say this, how like you've heard the old sayings, like, your money works while you sleep kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing with social media content. I mean, I wake up and I look at my social media channels, my Pinterest, as I've grown my Pinterest quite a bit. I mean, I have people following me all night long now, while I'm sleeping. The same with TikTok. I woke up this morning with a bunch of new followers. Why? Because I'm out engaging and putting content out consistently every single day. And I will tell you, Gene, I want to share an example of repurposing content. I'm repurposing now. I have a team member that's helping me. All my videos that are on YouTube are repurposed into TikTok, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, Instagram native, all of that. And it's making a difference. Now I'm starting to see. That's why I'm getting more followers. So it really does make a difference for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, that was our little presentation about how to create 64 pieces of content per day. And that's a whole, Gary Vee loves talking about that kind of stuff.
I know, huh?
And yeah, well, that's something that we've been doing quite a bit in our business as well.
So if you aren't part of our group, I would highly suggest you join our group. It's Digital Marketing and Tech for Women Entrepreneurs, and Jean just put it up there. So join us. If you're part of our group, please come in. We do these Facebook Lives at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Join us. Thursday is Tech Thursday. Ask questions. We're here. If you're watching this as a replay, just go ahead and post your question in the group, and we'll go ahead and we'll take care of it and answer it. In the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Yep,
all right.
See you tomorrow. Bye.